All right, there you have it. Everyone bracing for tomorrow, but also giving advice on how to go about this planned protest. But let's get to a conversation now. In a sudden reversal, the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency has put on hold its plan to drastically hike the aircraft navigation fees by 800%, a change that was originally set to take effect on September 1st, 2024. This unexpected move comes days after the agency first unveiled the proposed increase. Joining us now to discuss and other issues in the aviation industry, we have Mr. Bayo Adedeji. He's the Group CEO, Wakana. Joining me right here in the studio. Great to have you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, so quite a lot going on right now, but we cannot stay away from the planned protest. You know, at this time, I'm sure your industry is bracing for this. What kind of conversations are you having at this time?
Super tough conversation. We don't know what to expect tomorrow. We're concerned about cancellations, airline cancellations. The impact is big. And the impact on the economy is massive. You know, if all airlines cancel flights tomorrow, think about the impact, think about the financial loss, think about how we're going to have to manage passengers, think about all the things that is going to follow that, think about change fees. Some of these international airlines don't give us a quota that if your flight was cancelled or you missed your flight because you couldn't make it to the airport, you're going to have to pay cancellation fees, change fees. We're now working with the airlines to see all the things we can do to kind of make sure that we can breach for it, but we don't know what to expect.
Yeah, we definitely don't know what to expect, but if it actually happens, can you estimate what that cost could be to your industry?
To my industry, we have a daily run rate of about 4 to 5 billion Naira daily from the agency standpoint. Total industry is about, I think I would estimate about between 10 and 15 billion. So now you have a delayed sale of 15 billion in one day. That means that 15 billion Naira of transactions that has occurred probably in the past or currently on that day would not be able to be used or consumed of services that has been paid for. So now we're going to have to now take that 15 billion and then domino it to another day. So it's really a loss. In retail, a sale that does not happen is called a loss.
Yeah.
So when the service is not provided, then it's a loss to either the service provider or the consumer who paid for it. So,
right. Well, we'll all keep tracking, at this time. But let's get to other matters now. In the industry, you see the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. They've put on hold that 800% planned hike. You know, we're seeing hikes everywhere.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, any hike like this will be transmitted
back to the consumer.
Back to the consumers.
Correct.
At this time. But so, is this relief we're feeling at this time?
You know, it's a catch-22, right? And I don't know the P&L lines of NAMA, but I can just speak overall. I believe if we assume in good faith, right, that the planned increases was to cover the operational costs, like they said, you then have to start thinking that what are the operational costs? Decided diesel. That means that our national agency on space management is running on diesel. Like, those are some of the fundamental issues that I think is causing some of this economic turmoil. Is when the cost of operation goes up, they push it back to the consumer, who is poorer than they are last year. Dollar at this time last year was 741. Today, as of today, I think is 1,611. You know, when you think about those things, it gets passed down to the consumer, and the consumer becomes poorer as we go along. Like you said, for every increase that agencies do to cover probably operational basis, if we assume good faith, then it gets passed out to the consumer that is poorer than they are last year. So it's like it's like a vicious cycle of poverty that we continue to propel if we continue to increase prices without going back and fundamentally fixing some of our fundamental issues.
Right. So we see the government agencies also complaining about what we complain about, talking about diesel and exchange rate volatility. Quite interesting. But with this call off now, do you think we're out of the woods?
We're not. We're still seeing prices surging. Local flights is surging a little bit. Aviation fuel is expensive, you know, and as we continue to be a dollar-denominated economy, as it were, because a lot of things is purchased in USD, and the movement of USD impacts our daily lives. You see that the price of flights are going up. The average price of a London ticket is up 103% to last year. So last month, I think it's up by 11%. You know, when you look at it, we're doubling what we used to pay in Naira terms, right? But in dollar terms, you know, it's relative now because dollar is up about 139% to last year. So again, the challenge is as we move from a dollar-denominated economy to a local producing economy, that's the only way we can find the solve to reduce some of our costing. If aviation fuel can be produced locally, if we can supply our airlines in Naira, those are the places where we start to reduce our dependency on US dollars that drives the entire poverty scale, if you were to call it, of the entire economy. And the people don't make dollars. We make Naira. A person earning 300K last year and that is still earning even 350K this year is poorer than last year. Because again, everything they pay for, even if they pay in Naira, there's a dollar behind it. So as dollar goes up from 741 to 1611, you know that they're paying more.
And definitely we've seen the federal government instruct the NNPCL to actually sell crude to refineries here in Naira.
Which is good news.
Yeah.
And those are some of the policies that I think is in the right direction, is as we just move away from dollar denomination to more Naira transactions, more local transactions in Naira, then the people will start to enjoy some of the benefit of Naira transactions that are at a lower value. Hopefully it's not still pegged against the dollar.
Yeah, because I'm up for anything that improves demand, for the Naira at this time. We need to see more of that, going forward with policy direction. But you did mention, the airfares and how they've risen, compared to last year. But when I look on social media, I'm seeing everybody still traveling for summer at this point. So I'm wondering, what's happening with demand?
That is incorrect. And I think we live in data.
Right.
There are 35% less passengers than last year. We've seen air travel shrink year on year. Planes are still getting full because it might be sometimes the wrong indices. Some airlines are bringing smaller aircraft than they did last year. We're seeing capacity actually shrink than last year. And overall, we see a 35% decline in consumer travel. Corporate travel is a little bit off. Post-COVID, this is where corporate travel is starting to recover. So corporate travel can give us that mirage of travel, which is not really consumer travel. But on the B2C side, which is the business to consumer side, what we're seeing is a 35% decline. We have a product called Pay Small Small at Waka now, where people can buy and pay small small. We're seeing a surge. People that you will not believe. Typically, we don't see business class customers do pay small small. Now we're seeing a lot more business class customers do pay small small. That tells you how necessary travel, necessary vacations, but people are now planning it ahead because they are using pay small small to travel. And that just tells you how the shrinking income of the middle class is impacting travel. Some people are still adamant about going family vacation. They are saving up money. Some have saved up money all year round. And people are coming to the office to look for cheaper places to go. Is a cheaper destination. We've seen local travel also go up, which is super interesting. People are now going by bus, people are going by road, people are going to places like Benin. Casa de Papa in Benin is getting a surge because people are now going there to say, you know what, I'll just drive to the border and then take a local bus to go to Benin, to go get the time away from all the hustle and bustle of Lagos. We're seeing people from Abuja come to Lagos. We're seeing people from Jos come to Lagos for annual vacation, bringing families, coming to the beach. We've seen a surge of people going to the beach in Lagos, even though as our beach business
so it's not about US and the UK, at this time.
Yeah,
we're seeing movement within. So we're seeing a big substitution even in the travel industry.
Because you see,
travel industry.
I should say that the consumer is also very resilient, and I should give some kudos back to the consumer. When you think about how poor the consumers are, and even we're just seeing a 35% decline, it tells you that the consumers are very, very resilient, and that people are, and that's what it's good about the Nigerian spirit. That an average Nigerian would always make a way or find one, and which is super interesting as we go in travel space.
Regardless of food inflation and headline inflation way off the roof at this time, we still stay resilient. Thank you so much, Mr. Bayo Adedeji's Group CEO, Wakana.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we're going to look at what's happening in the markets and another industry here. We're looking at the sachet spiritual industry at this point. We know that ban from earlier this year. We're discussing what's happening right now. That's in a moment. Just stay with us.